Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for allowing me to accompany you on this adventure, this journey. Um, I want to start by just acknowledging that I believe that we are all creative beings, all of us. The medium might look different, sure, the expression will vary, but when I hear people say I'm just not creative, I don't buy that. I'm calling bullshit on that. We are all creative beings. It's no different than when I say I'm not a runner, even though I'm sore and I'm sweaty and I'm out of breath because, well, I just ran. And yet I still find myself saying that. I'm not a real runner, even though I lace up my shoes 2, 3, 4 times a week to run. Or I'm not a real writer, but I'm setting my alarm for the crack of dawn to get up and write. So what is with that? That kind of talk comes from a place of comparison, a place of ego, and really a place of self-defeat. I was in Colorado last summer. I had the chance to study with Dr. Estes, who wrote Women Who Run with the Wolves. And when I was out there, I met another amazing woman, Masha, and we got to chatting. She introduced herself, I introduced myself, and she said, well, what do you write? And I said, I'm not a real writer. Again, that nasty little phrase polluting my mouth. And she shared some of her own story with me about just kind of feeling the same way that, before she had been published, just the possibility, the thought of that happening one day was amazing, and really something that she wanted. And then she was published and excited at first, but then that doubt that we all have comes knocking, and the thought of, oh, maybe that publication wasn't quite as cool as I thought. So then she reaches for, the next thing, the better thing, a more prestigious publication, something more well-respected in the field. And then she gets that, and again, the happiness comes, followed promptly by the doubt, the thought of, they just accepting any submission these days? And she wrapped up the conversation saying, I can win the Nobel Peace Prize, and I would find a way to convince myself that somehow I was not worthy. I was not good enough. Wow, they must have really lowered their standards for giving out that award. And I laugh because I resonate with that line of thinking. And yet it's so defeating to think that way. The good news is that I'm beginning to catch myself when I do it, when those self-limiting belief statements, those degradations of who I am and what I do and what I have to offer the world start spilling out of me. I stop, I clean it up, and I rephrase. That being said, I do believe there are times where we're more aligned with our creative potential, our creative power. Unfortunately for me, that generally comes when I'm in deep pain. And, I've produced some things that I'm really proud of out of that place, working with that energy, but I would love to be able to tap into my creativity also at times when I don't need a trauma to sort of motivate it out of me. And so how do we tap into that? You start. You start right now. You start where you're at. You listen to that little nudge, that little prompting, and you let it lead you, wherever it may lead you. And you let it lead you without having to know where it's leading you. And you believe with all of your heart that whatever brought you to this place in this specific time, in this specific moment, joy, fear, boredom, desperation, devastation, that it's all part of the plan. It's all a mile marker on your journey. And I can't wait to see where we go.